Good morning. Coming at you from Panama. It's kind of a cloudy day today. It's nice though, still nice and warm, which is lovely. Can't say that I don't miss looking at the fall leaves, but I can look at pictures of the fall leaves. Right, that is a pretty time of the year when the leaves have all changed color. I don't know how that works now with all that geoengineering shit. A lot of the leaves die prematurely, and you don't get that because the trees are basically in a overstressed state. I don't know what the colors. I still hope beautiful. So today I just wanted to talk about a few things. I had brought up something in a prior video about could this particular, and I'm not going to get into the situation, but you know the situation I'm talking about, this young lad that has, confessed. Could he be made to believe something that wasn't true, like a made up? Could there be thoughts that are put in his mind that are not true? And so I went to the Indoctrinated Brain book because I just wanted to get just right from the horse's mouth, Dr. Michael Nels, and I like his work. And he looks a lot at the hippocampal function. He has written books on Alzheimer's disease. And Alzheimer's disease and many types of dementia all have that there's problems, there's destruction of neurogenesis in the temporal lobes, in the hippocampus. So when he looks at it and when they study, and medicine, the death cult, says it's normal for the rate of hippocampal volume loss to be about 1.4% per year. So each year you're losing a certain amount of hippocampal volume, density in that area of the brain, and that's not good. What happens is because it's a silent onset of this, it's not normal. It shouldn't be happening. Despite what, modern, killer medicine would have you be. It's not normal for the shrinkage of the hippocampus to happen. And then all of a sudden you start to have symptoms of that, which are the Alzheimer's. Number one, beginning one, is depression. This ongoing depression, and I don't believe in any of the antidepressants. I believe it makes it worse. It destroys more of the hippocampal function, right? Depression, it's telling you something's going on. In this case, it's toxic poisoning from everything around you and destruction of the hippocampus. Everything from coffee to narcotics to weed to legal drugs, illegal drugs, right? The food that you eat, the toxic shit that's in the sky, it all is damaging the hippocampus. When that happens, neurogenesis, where you make new memory neurons every night when you go to sleep. Hence why sleeping is so important. Many things happen in the brain at night. This beautiful receptor we have of our consciousness, right? So if all these other things are happening, right, like you're poisoning yourself, then there's rapid destruction of that. There's no neurogenesis. You're not creating any new cells. So what happens, this beautiful body of ours, right, and all its functions in its automatic system, the subconscious system, the automatic, right, is that it gets rid of memories. So it deletes some of your old memories so that new memories can be implanted. And they can indeed plant memories. They're way, 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 way ahead of us. We're down in the sort of thinking that wars are fought with guns and, fighting on that. That's not how it's done. They've learned how to hollow out the brain, and then they can reprint over with new memories. It's Brave New World, but they don't do it at birth. Well, they do it at birth. They do it throughout the lifespan of the human being. That also ties in. See, all these things tie in together. So you're damaging the brain. You're creating brain damage. We're going to get in a couple of definitions at the end of this and how important linguistics are, right? When you look at things and how linguistics, because linguistics is symbolism and feeling, right? The subconscious mind eats it right up because that's the subconscious mind. It's into symbols and stuff like that. So last night here, the sky has been these electrical flashes. They're not lightnings. There is some true lightning, but the vast majority of it is the sky like a strobe light. And I know I've read from the Alaskan Skywatcher that they were doing this HARP. Now there's another one in Norway, and that was the one, because you can go online and see when they're up and running, these ionospheric heaters. And they create this agitation in the ionosphere, in electrons, protons, subatomic particles, right? So that they're heightened. And they can actually have the mechanism turned off of this. And there's other ground ones that they have too, to excite the ionosphere, right? To make it more electrically charged. And then when you add the different pollutants that they're putting in, which are heavy metals, right? That the planes and the geoengineering, part of the geoengineering, right? It creates this ripe environment for what you see, and very heavy storm, right? Water. It creates a lot of toxic water, actually, because it has all that fucking metallic shit in it. And don't think that this isn't happening. This is happening. If you were to go online, I don't have the patents for this, but I trust the people that I'm reading, and they all have their citations and the patents for what these people are doing up in the ionosphere, and they've been doing sort of knowingly since the 50s, and that heating up the ionosphere heats up the rest of the world. And then when you are using resonant frequencies, that you can actually create underground volcanic eruptions that make the ocean hotter, because it goes along with the agenda that you're trying to push. Right? And the agenda is that there's climate change, you caused it, you're the problem, we're going to pen you up in 15-minute cities, take all your fucking liberties away from you, right? And I'm sure we're going to start, hey, thought crime, Palantir wants to do that, pre-crime. And this young lad, who's a patsy, he's a patsy. That boy in no way friggin' did what they said he did. No way. No way on earth. Do you think that they can't get somebody to think that they've done something? Of course they can. Especially have somebody that's quite hollowed out. This is a young man. They're the most hollowed out generation from the machine. They're paired with the machine. Thusly, the machine can plant shit in your head to make you do stuff. Hence why it's incredibly important, number one, to limit the amount of poisons you have and to know thyself. The only way out is in, right? You know yourself, they can't get you. Because free will out, right? If you know what your thought patterns are and how you react and how you behave and what your triggers are, they can't do it, right? And if you really, what can I say, espouse to have a healthy lifestyle, as healthy as you can, regardless of what kind of money you have. Anybody can learn how to grow fucking food. It's really quite easy, actually, and you can enjoy doing it. Now, that's not to say there's not poison, because poison's in the soil. We need to take back control about what these evil, evil, evil geniuses are doing. And give our science back to us, that these scientists are not signing gag orders that they can't speak out, and if they do, they'll fucking kill them. We've just seen how deadly they are. That man was killed. That was a man. I believe he was a true human being. I believe that he was actually murdered for the cause, right? Whatever, I'm sure it's always multi-pronged what they want to do, and Charlie Kirk is no exception to that, right? And people are looking, they're talking about the reaction from both of the two fucking, wings of the same bird, and the hatred. But you break social bonds and you turn people into machines, because it's not the machines turning into people and humans. That's not the game here. The game is to turn you into a fucking machine. They're just going to hollow out the fucking brain part of you without you fucking knowing it, because most people are walking around in subconscious mind up to 99% of the day. So everything that they do is on automatic pilot. They can fucking program you like a remote control fucking car. Think not, think again. And it's all done under the guise of plausible denial. Budgets, do you know that before 9/11, like the day before, this Catherine Austin Fitts, she's a smart cookie, they'd found like $23 trillion that were missing, and the building that had all that information got hit by a fucking plane. Yeah, like fucking pigs can fly. Like time to wakey, wakey, wakey. So that's Michael Nell's take on, and for anybody that wants to know more, and you should be buying books and reading them. It increases your attention span. Because of the machine, our attention span is short, and we need to lengthen that. hippocampus. You want healthy hippocampus. You want a healthy prefrontal cortex. You want to have a brain that much of the time is in coherence. When we're in chaos and fear and fight and flight, fear puts us in fight and flight, you're not in coherence. Only parts of your brain, the limbic part of the brain, the reptilian part of the brain is working. And we have a society that's bathed in it. And they're bathed in the addiction to the drugs or the hormones that are released, right, during fear. You become addicted to them. And then the release of the fear, when they let it up a bit, there's dopamine. We're such wondrous creatures, but we've been weaponized by these they're evil people. It's evil. What they're doing is evil, right? And it's not, it doesn't come from any political side. Politics is just a theater to keep you distracted while shit's going on behind your back, because shit is going on behind our back. So then I saw something the other day, and it hit me. It went, yeah, of course they're using of course they do. Linguistics as a programming tool, right, to make us believe certain realities and perceptions about the world that we're in. So when I was growing up, I lived in Ontario, and I was quite near Huronia Regional Centre, where people with the new term developmental disability, but people that were mentally retarded, right? We had sheltered workshops. I can just imagine, I do know, right? Because I became a developmental service worker because I liked the course in Aurelia. I took it in Aurelia, right? The different things about psychology and sociology, I liked that. Not that I was going to work with people with developmental disabilities, but it was actually very enlightening, right? Because I learned about developmental psychology and, applied behavioral psychology, because it's used on people that are, quote, developmentally delayed, right, have developmental disabilities, or back in my day, mentally retarded. So it became a derogative term. That's what happened with it. So there was a big push about deinstitutionalization, which on the surface sounded good, but it wasn't. It was letting people that didn't know how to care for themselves out in the community and let the predators go fucking wild on them and pay these people that were supposed to advocate and care for them to do shit, and they never did fuck all. Just like the social justice fucking morons now that are being played by the system. So it became a derogatory term. You didn't use it. So it was developmental disability, and they closed down the institutions. Thank God. They were Huronia Regional Center, and I also went the step down unit at Oak Ridges. You really have no idea. You have no idea of those places until you go in, and you become part of that other part, because you become part of a little group of people. Right? And most people have no idea. And let me tell you, at hospitals, you sign gag orders so that you don't talk about what's going on. Right? They're little fascist states. They all are. And now when I look at what I see being done, or what was done, and I mean, it's still happening, MK Ultra shit, right? All these mind control shit, what they've done on people with psychiatric problems is just horrendous. It's all torture. It's cruelty. It's not about helping people understand why you feel. And I mean, if you're depressed because of the toxic environment that you live in and the chemicals and the hormones that are flowing through your body, and then you're given more fucking toxic poison, right, that hollows out more of your mind, and they just make you more compliant and more fucking... See, a lot of the work I did in the community, I'm so glad I did the job I did, and I was to advocate for the rights of people and help to empower them. Because it's empowerment that makes you healthy. To know that you do have the power. But you see, that goes into mental retardation and developmental disability. So let me finish my train of thought with that. And I will just give you, I have this beautiful old, I brought it back with me, medical surgical dictionary, back from, I think it was the 90s. Right? But it's many editions of it. Because language changes. I had another giant English dictionary. Giant was my friend Philip Hirsch, his dictionary, and it's vast, huge. It was too heavy. I couldn't bring it back to Panama with me, so it's in Canada. I hope nobody throws it out, but it's a great thing because language means something. It's symbolism. So developmental disabilities, as it stands, when you look at that word, what do you think? In development, as the child is developing, there's something that happens, right, that creates problems, disabilities. And so it goes in here. It's very small, the definition of it in this particular MedSurg dictionary, right? And it says that it's in childhood, developmental disabilities, particularly used to refer to those such as autism, which was very rare back then, my friends, and mental disorders, right? And so they see pervasive developmental disability. They were rare, these developmental disabilities. Remember, back in that day, autism was about 1 in 1,500, more than that, actually. It was very rare. I never saw it. I never saw any of the things that we see now pervasively everywhere that are called developmental delays or disabilities or autism or attention deficit. I love it when it's, now I know at 40 why I didn't fit in because I had autism. Fuck off. Fuck off. I see that in the headlines like, oh, yeah, sure you do. In the victim mentality. No, maybe you didn't fit in because you could see the fucking bullshit. But then you got cowed in and you were doing toxins, and so you shut your fucking mind off and went to sleep. Now, on the other hand, to mental retardation. See, mental retardation has a different connotation. It's something that's retarding your mentation. So let's look into that. Mental retardation, sub-average general intelligent functioning that brings with it some degree of impairment. Impaired adaptation in learning, social adjustment, or maturation. Infantilizing people, or in 3 areas now classed as developmental disabilities. Mental retardation is not a disease. It is a general term for the wide range of conditions resulting from many different causes. Many of these are directly related to some diseases, either in the mother during pregnancy or in the infant. Getting jabbed, as soon as you leap out of the womb. It can also, though, but only some are hereditary, some very small. So they're not, they'll have you believe that it's all genetic fucking malfunctioning. But here's a good one. The general health of the mother and the economic situation of the family may also play a role in this condition. It's a relative term. Meaning depends on what society demands the individual to learn. There are many people that were diagnosed as mentally retarded that are perfectly functioning because it doesn't matter this part. They could produce and do things out in the community, right? It looked at IQ level, but that doesn't mean so look at it. It's a huge explanation because mental retardation, you know why it's so important that we maybe go back to using a term that actually describes what's going on? Because it's the retardation of our mentation, our abilities, our mind, right? So and it was funny, when I was in Aurelia the last time, when I would be out walking around, that's what I said. These people are all mentally retarded. It's not their fault, right? But the term has been changed because we're not allowed to say that the poisons, the toxins, are retarding the mentation of people because they are. Look around. So developmental disability looks at something blaming you for the problem. It's some problem in the development of the person, that they're not developing normally, right? What is normal? Normal is something that is defined by the culture that you live in. Mental retardation, on the other hand, looks at toxins and poisons and the social determinants of health that create the situation for health and optimum cognitive mental functioning. We live in a world that is opposite to that. It has been captured by evil. Evil. Dressed up in white coats, right? Those people are indoctrinated. Again, this is not a blame game. This is just having you open your mind to see how they do things and how it is so fundamentally important that we look at things with an open mind and look at language and look at how language change. If you've got old books hanging around, don't get rid of them. Keep them. They are, because the victor always changes the narrative, because it's narrative control. So it can seem a little overwhelming, all this electrical shit that they're doing to our brain, and we're electrical beings, because that's what I believe. And the change of language. Remember, this is a very old plan, right? Which again has to bring me back to how fucking wonderful we are. Why would they go to such fucking lengths to do this? Because we're the prize and we're worth it. And we have such power. And if we understood that and united together in power, right, and stopped the things that are retarding our mentation, right, and stand in our power, empower ourselves, face our programs, because it's all programming. They're masters of programming, social engineers, these. There's many that believe, my friend, my mentor, Jason Christoff, that this is an ancient, there are other people who believe him, this is an ancient death cult that has been kicked out of everywhere that they've ever been, and they live off death. And one only needs to look around. We live in a death-centric, sickness, toxic culture that it does not bode with human development and evolution. But on the other side, a lot of what they're doing is opening up the minds of people, and we need to do that. We need to stay as the observer, not become emotionally wound up in their game of divide, and actually keep marching forward. I kind of always look in the middle. I'm going the middle path, and I intend to thrive. I intend to thrive and age my own way, be my own person, and stand up for what I believe. And the thing is, joy is available right now, because we're now. This is what we live in. We live in now. We don't live in the past. The past we need to learn from, yes. Don't need to bury it. You need to face the pain there. You need to face the shit that makes you suffer. Understand what your triggers are. Know who you are. You need to plan and imagine and be creative about what you want in the future. And take your power back. They're using your fear and that creative power that comes with that energy to create a prison. A prison that you can't see. And it is being erected around us. Now, I heard something the other day. It could just be all bullshit, because you never know. I haven't seen this from hard fact scientists, but that the sun is burning up the Telsa satellites, Elon Musk satellites. Wouldn't that be great? Remember, there's everything in God's world, this world, is in a type of balance. There's a balance here of the negative energy and the positive energy. And it will always, what I have found, all systems will work towards homeostasis. She's a system. It's a system. It will work towards homeostasis. So I hope that clears up a little bit. I just have these things in my mind that I need to tell people about. So I have told you what my thinking is, based on some hard scientific facts behind it, some old definitions that are relevant on how they change language and how you need to look at that, and you need to be very cognizant about what you let in your mind. I'm also going to link a video that I like this channel on YouTube. It's called Wise Quotes, and it really breaks down programming, how easily we can be programmed, but how easily we can program ourselves. And you can do it right now, and it doesn't cost a cent, not 1 cent. You are the power. They wouldn't go to all this trouble to do what they're doing if you were not one powerful being, that beautiful God-given DNA that we have, those fractal antennas. Yes, we are. Those are antennas there talking to the world. Take care, have a good day, and thrive. Don't have that scarcity. Watch the video that I link. You'll get it, because it describes it so eloquently. I can't even say it. Eloquently. There, I did it. And you can see how I can practice Spanish. I figure in the next 5 years I'll probably get it. I practice every day. I love the language, but by God, it's difficult. It's fast. The R's, they have double R, and then a single R. So a purse is called a cartera, and a road is called a carretera. So it's like, okay, it's like the theirs in English. Okay, have a good day.